Hi, I want to talk to you today about something that came to me last night that was just like, oh, I feel that I want to speak about this. Why we keep struggling with the same shit, like the same challenges again and again and again. Those things that we're like, oh, why can't I just do things differently? Why can't I just quit smoking? Why can't I just quit drinking? Or why can't I just eat better? Or why do I keep finding myself in the same relationships? Why do I keep finding myself getting hurt again and again? Why does this keep happening to me? Why do people keep rejecting me? You get my drift. So why do things keep happening to you? I have a theory. We like answers, and I like having answers, and I like giving answers and sharing answers. And so I really feel that we repeat. Sorry, by the way, if there's any background noise. Hope the mic isn't picking it up. We're installing air conditioning units. Things keep happening because there's something that we can learn from the situation that we're not learning. So I view challenges as opportunities, first of all, right? So if there is a constant challenge, it is actually a constant opportunity. Okay. So when I was trying to think of like, what example could I give? I was just like, I'll use the example of my current recurring challenge that I am facing. So as you know, I've been on some of you might not know because you might not be following me that often, but I am working on eating healthily. I'm going to pull up my model and I'm going to use this as the guideline that I use. So I'm going to show you, hold on, virtual background. Okay. Virtual background in my model. Do I have a background that I like? Let's do this one. Okay. Where to go? So this is my model. And so this is for solving problems, right? And I was just like, I'm struggling with my eating for so long. Like, oh. First thing, I'm just going to run this through because this isn't going to be a masterclass on my model, and those of you already know the model, understand. So it's just going to be a little quickie reminder. Conditions are at the center of the model. The conditions are the big five: sleep, food, movement, play, joy, and support. So you got to check that at the core of your life, you've got those five covered. If those five aren't covered, it could factor into whatever challenge you're currently struggling with. So for me, I was realizing that my comfort eating was very much to do with I was just so tired because I was breastfeeding through the night, etc. Just like really bad sleep for 4 years. But the last year was like, I have to get my food like in check. Like I'm not eating well. I don't feel good. I really want to get on top of this and solve this problem. And I realized that until I sleep through the night, I'm just going to have to cut myself the slack because I'm so tired and my body needs so much energy that I'm just going to feed it. I'm going to give it what it wants. This is what it needs in the moment. I'm not even going to fight it. So that was like me practicing self-compassion when I made the decision to just like, fine, fuck it, But conditions are at the core, right? So if you're not sleeping and you're not eating well and you're not moving yourself and you're not whatever, then those things factor in. Okay. So you check your conditions, first thing. Then the second thing is we run through the model. So investigation, discovery, education, application, 4 steps to solving any problem. First step is an investigation. And this belongs to the area of curiosity, right? Curiosity is like one of the main pillars, the 4 pillars of self-development. Sorry, for those of you who don't know. Commitment, curiosity, conditions, conditioning. So curiosity is like part of the first step and the third one, but we're on the first one now. So investigation. Investigate, get curious, ask questions. Why am I eating? When am I eating? How am I eating? Look for the patterns, right? Investigating, we're collecting data, we're trying to get as knowledgeable as possible on what the situation is, right? So like it's an investigation. Okay. So detectives and consultants, and like we collect as much data as possible so that you can really have an educated conclusion of what is actually going on, which would be the discovery, which is usually part of our conditioning. But at the investigation stage, right, many people have asked me, like, what kind of, like, how do I even investigate? So literally just ask a shit ton of questions. But it's like, so by giving an example using myself, if I were to ask myself, looking for patterns, when is it that I comfort eat, right? That would probably be the first question. So when? So my kids are at school 9 till 3. 9 till 3, I have no problem with comfort eating. I'm like, 9 till 3, I'm really good. I'm very healthy. I'm very conscious. I'm very aware. I feel very regulated, like emotionally, like I'm checking in with myself. I'm just like, and I feel that food, obviously, and comfort eating, little like educated guess here, because I've done this enough times with enough different things. It's that it's a self-soothing thing. It's an emotional regulation thing, usually tied into our conditioning, right? The programming, like what we used to do, like our patterns, right? So, the investigation here is, what is it that I am trying to regulate from or self-soothe from with the eating, right? What is it? I'm trying to get to the root. What is it that is triggering, right? And so then I look at, so when is it that I comfort eat? And there are specific times. There is, well, basically when the kids come home and I have to feed them. And I get very anxious when I have to figure out what it is that I want to feed them and how to feed them and what to make and how to make, like all of that, like the feeding others, feeding my children that I'm like in charge of and responsible for, that triggers me. And that is very insightful, useful piece of information, right? So I have this recurring thing. I have to, like, I'm constantly, if there's a pattern, it means I'm constantly being triggered in the same way. And when I'm being triggered in that specific way, my default automatic option is to then do that pattern, which is familiar. So my brain perceives it as safe, right? But it's not serving me. So this challenge is constantly coming. It's a constant opportunity to change this piece that isn't serving me, right? It's an opportunity. What can I learn? What can I learn? What can I do differently? What is the opportunity here? The opportunity for me is that when I am triggered and this is coming up, I can feel into this trigger. I can heal this trigger. I can get very curious about what is going on underneath that is creating this dependence, kind of like on when this happens, that's when you get triggered, you then need to regulate. When I get triggered with anxiety over feeding my kids, when I get triggered over anxiety about nighttime, like when I'm trying to feel into, like, because I'm looking at the times when I'm getting triggered now, right? So it's like I'm investigating. I'm still in the investigation phase. What is happening for me? What are those triggers? What are they rooted in? How can I heal them so that I won't need to rely on the regulation piece so much? And how can I regulate in a way that serves me better? Because this has been serving me great. I'm getting great dopamine hits in the moment. I'm getting my chocolate. I'm getting my yummy food. I'm getting my crunchy food. I'm getting my whatever. And I'm just like, bing, bing, bing. Yeah, I feel better. I feel good. I feel good. But then after like a couple of minutes and like half an hour, I feel so bad, like physically, like I want to throw up. Like I feel really bad because I don't need that much food in my body right now. Like I didn't need that extra piece of chocolate. I just don't. And I'm very sensitive to, like, yesterday I had a coffee. I don't know if you saw my post. I had this like giant bucket of coffee. I wanted to throw up. I was like, my body was not happy with me for that coffee. I was like, yes, I earned it. And it's a celebration. It tasted great in the moment. But like literally half an hour later, the caffeine, oh my God, I felt like I was on drugs and I wanted to go and throw up. And I was just like, yeah, okay, these coffees are just not good for me. I'm not going to have these coffees anymore. And I'm like, yeah, until the next time I'm like, oh, I earned it. Right? So trying to basically prove to you that A, you are very human when these things are happening. B, there is a reason that we have these patterns Okay, patterns serve us. They served us. They give us the dopamine hit. They give us the escape. They give us the release. They give us the regulation. They give us whatever it is. They self-soothe, right? These patterns that we have. If it's relationships, right? Constantly in these like abusive relationships, toxic relationships, there's something about them that is serving you, or that did serve you once upon a time. Maybe it was that you didn't feel seen or heard, and that relationship and that type kind of like made you feel seen and heard in some specific way, or gave you some kind of feeling that you were wanted or desirable or loved or whatever. Or maybe it was just familiar, like you were abused at home, and so the abuse is familiar to your system, and you literally do not see red flags as red flags. You see them as familiar. So your psyche sees it as similar. Like I can, like, it's, give me an example and I will try and like, I will show you how it is literally just the conditioning, the need, the trigger, the whatever, and then the default go-to pattern that we have been conditioned with, and that we just know because at some point it served us or is still serving us even, right? Going out to have a cigarette, that serves you in the moment. It lets you step away from whatever you're doing. It lets you take a deep breath. That regulates the system. Just have a cancer stick while you do it. Take the deep breaths without the stick. But easier said than done, I know. However, it starts with making a decision to commit to the process of figuring out how to do things differently, what is going on. And then this is like a system that will actually teach you how to then go about that. It gives you like a strategy. That's why I love it. That's why I teach it. But yeah, this wasn't supposed to be like a whole promo thing. I just wanted to show you like why the same shit keeps happening is because we are used to it in a way. Like it is that we just haven't learned how to do it. So I'm taking away the background. We haven't learned whatever it is that the challenge, that the opportunity is offering us, right? So I am trying to think of another example other than my eating, because I think it's also getting old. I just wanted to show you as well that like I'm a mentor. I model the things that I teach. Like I'm walking the walk with you guys. I'm using my tools and I'm using the knowledge and the information. Like it helps. It works, right? But there was like, okay, so I have a client and she was constantly getting angry, constantly getting triggered. This thing, it keeps happening. I keep having the same conflicts, the same, the same challenges happening again and again and again. And it's like, okay, it's an opportunity. What can you learn from it? We used the tool that I found a few years ago. We used the tool that helps you figure out the trigger work tool that helps her figure out what is triggering her. Right? I'm going to be using the trigger tool now to figure out what is triggering me with the food thing. And then that's where we have an opportunity to learn from the situation. The challenge is an opportunity to learn. If you have the right tool that can help you figure it out, then you can learn from it. And then you can do things differently. You can find new ways to regulate. You can heal that piece. You know what needs healing, right? So yeah. That's basically it. Why the same shit keeps happening to you is because you're not harnessing the opportunity. Just a little reframe. I do want to just note though that there's like it feels like a bit of a shaming kind of judgy connotation with that when I say it. And I want to make sure that it's not like you're not learning something, so it's on you, it's your fault, that you're recreating the situation because you're not learning from it. Like that feels a bit shamey, and I don't want it to come off as that. I want to suggest a reframe that the recurring shit that happens to you again and again and again actually can be seen as an opportunity. That's the reframe that I'm inviting you to kind of do, is that it's not on you in a way of like, it's your fault that this shit keeps happening, but it's on you to take back control, and power and responsibility for your life trajectory and say, this shit keeps happening to me. I'm going to do something about it. And I can do something about it. And I will do something about it because I don't want that shit to keep happening again and again and again. And so it is kind of stepping up to the plate, but not from a judgy, shamey, critical place, from a empowering place, right? Like that is what I want to be inviting you to kind of look at it differently. There's an opportunity here. I can actually grow from this shit that keeps happening to me. Like this could actually, in a roundabout way, be working in my favor. Like I can flip this on its head, and all this shit that keeps happening to me, the constant rejection, the constant failures, the constant whatever, I can actually turn that shit, flip it up on its head. I can do that. And I can be like, boom, I learned something and I grew, and that shit isn't coming back anymore. That's not going to happen anymore. It's empowering as fuck when you realize that you can do that, right? So yeah. And I also want to like, I don't even know if I want to go there, but like what came to me last night when I was thinking about this was that like recurring challenges in the world and society, like conflict, poverty, racism, all this really, really, really hard shit, like big things that keep recurring. Like it's like constantly just perpetuated. It's just like, it's like we're not harnessing the opportunities. Like it's not like we're not empowering ourselves to be like, oh shit, we can learn from this, we can flip it on its head, and we can actually do things differently. We can learn to do things better, to be better, to feel better, to just, you know. And so yeah, I don't know why I felt compelled to talk about that in that way. Like I think it also kind of takes the pressure off you. You're not a failure. Like society, like no one does it. No one, no one is looking at challenges as opportunities, like in a macro scale. Like society doesn't do it. It's something that we're not taught to do. We're not taught to see things as opportunities, the challenges as opportunities. We're not taught to be like, oh shit, this is happening to me and this feels bad. What can I learn from it? No, we're not taught that, right? And so that's something that I really wanted to kind of share and invite, kind of plant a seed. And if you have any questions on it, feel free to reach out to me. And also let me know what your takeaways were from that, because I feel like that was a lot. But yeah, hopefully I was able to help you shift something a little bit. I hope. So yeah, that's it for now. By the way, there may be some changes coming. I have got a load of different things going on in my business right now. I'm in a business accelerator, and I haven't for the last 2 weeks done the daily prompts in the group. If that is something that you are missing and that you really, really want, let me know and I will bring it back. It's like literally, it's not that much effort on my part. I didn't know if it was really serving as much as I wanted it to be serving. I hope so, but let me know if you want the daily prompts back, in which case I will bring them back. But yeah, there's going to be some shifts coming. I'm going to do a masterclass. I'm going to do a masterclass probably next week, probably, but I will share more about that soon. All right. Love to you all. Have a wonderful Thursday or weekend. And yeah, bye.